You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
Saturday Night Lights is what the schedule calls for this weekend, as the Miami Dolphins play host to the Las Vegas Raiders. Hard Rock Stadium will be the site of the second Dolphins preseason game, and coming off of last week's W gives the fans something extra to smile about. Evaluating the team's roster may become a little difficult as we near the regular season opener, but all the more necessary nonetheless. Dolphins v Raiders preseason preview. Fins up, Fin fans. Now back to Charlie and Kadeem.
I got into the NFL properly around 2014, 2015. The Johnny Manziel draft, I call it the Johnny Manziel draft because that's the one that I properly watched. And I remember staying up to watch, when he was taken because everyone thought he would be the first pick of the draft. But this is 2014. So prior to that, my NFL knowledge is sketchy at best. I didn't know or hear of Manti Te'o. Obviously, as the years go on, I've kind of seen his name in and around the NFL, but I kind of knew there was this girlfriend situation, but I didn't know properly what the girlfriend situation was. They were like this fake girlfriend, all that kind of stuff. Now on Netflix, there's a documentary about it, and I literally just finished watching the documentary, and it's crazy how a story like this doesn't kind of reach the UK. Normally global stories like, Lance Armstrong being a cheat or, all that kind of stuff, like it reaches the UK.
Yeah.
A college footballer who gets catfished and the whole, situation around that didn't reach me. No, it's unfair to say it didn't reach the UK. It didn't reach me. And I'm someone who, I work in media. I work in sport.
Nah, bro. You haven't seen none of the movies that we throw out there. We ask you, have you ever seen this show before? Nah, I never seen this show. Have you ever seen this movie? Nah, I never seen that movie. Like, bro, you're fairly sheltered, bro.
Hold on. There's a difference between not seeing something and not knowing something.
But you're fairly sheltered, though, bro.
I'm sheltered, but at the same time, like I said, if you ask me if I've seen a movie, I normally know what the movie is. I just haven't seen it.
Bro, it actually looks like you're doing like a hostage video right now. Like that's how sheltered you are, bro. Like, nah, bro, you gotta go outside more, Kadeem. Like, I'm sure that the Manti Te'o story reached England, bro.
If you let me finish what I was saying, I work in sport. I've worked in sport professionally for the last 8 years, but I graduated university as a sports journalist in 2011. So, I've been around the sports industry, professionally and like freelance for 10 years. The Manti Te'o, anyone from the UK in the comment section, let me know if I literally just missed it. But yeah, I've literally just finished watching the documentary on the Manti Te'o situation, and that is mental. And I was going to ask you, outside of how you are, just how good was Manti Te'o in college, and whether you believe this whole catfish situation literally ruined his NFL career.
All right. So it's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. I got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons, with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast. Listen, Kadeem, bro. I'm pretty sure Manti Te'o was global. And this was a thing that technology wasn't what it is right now. Cell phones weren't what cell phones are right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't the same. Social media was not the same back then as it is right now. So Manti Te'o is probably the victim of the most infamous catfish known to humankind. Like mankind, like he is the victim of the most infamous catfish. And I don't even think it was considered catfish before that. You know what I'm saying? I think it wasn't even, I don't know if it had a name yet. And I could be wrong about that, but I don't think it had a name yet. So to answer your question, he was a Heisman Trophy finalist, bro. He could have won the Heisman that year. So, and defensive players don't win Heismans anymore. And he was actually a real good linebacker. A lot of people thought he would be undersized when he came into the NFL, like whether it was undersized or slow or out of position, like are they going to move him around and stuff? But Manti Te'o was legit. The catfish had nothing to do with his NFL or lack of performance in the NFL. Like, nah. But I will say this: people should check out that Manti Te'o documentary. I followed it when it was happening. I don't think he was a sucker though. Like, I think people are evil out there, bro. Like
100%.
you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I understand. Like, again, technology isn't what it is right now. And you easily could have got catfish back in the day. But nah, people are just evil, bro. Like, and I think he was just it lined up perfectly. A kind-hearted person with an evil person, and then that was the result. So it's unfortunate, but that's what we got. Now everyone knows my co-host never seen Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, and he didn't even know the Manti Te'o story. So we don't have a credible podcast all of a sudden. I'm just saying.
I really feel like, so like I said, there's a difference between not seeing something and not knowing something. I know about Ace Ventura, I just never seen it. I know of Manti Te'o, the football player, but I didn't know the whole history of his playing, of what happened to him. And again, I am sheltered in what I watch, but if something doesn't reach, my bubble, doesn't really not, like, again, I live in the UK. Up until 2014, 2015, my entire life was football, soccer. Yes, I'd heard of the Super Bowl and I watched Super Bowl and stuff like that, but getting NFL / okay, prime example, Aaron Fernandez, yeah, and that whole
Hernandez.
Hernandez, sorry, yeah, Aaron Hernandez, that didn't get much media traction in the UK. I knew about it because I was working at a newspaper and I'd been following the NFL. And when it happened, I was like, oh my days. But in terms of reaching, like UK newspapers and UK media, not much.
All right, all right. So we spent the first 7 minutes on a non-Dolphin player. I don't love it. This is not normal. But Aaron Hernandez was also something different. That was a murder. And unfortunately, this is not the first time the NFL has something like that. I can see if you didn't hear about Manti Te'o because it was college football, and then that's something else that has to reach across the pond too, because the NFL is barely making it, like, it's barely what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? It's barely a market. I don't want to say barely a market, but it's fairly a new market. It's a fairly new market for NFL football. So I can understand that. But it was bigger than just a football story. We're going to go into Go Time Dolphins. All right. Listen, week 11 or week 10, Dolphins got the Browns. And it was like, all right, depending on if the Browns have their quarterback, this is a win. This could be a loss. We got our answer now. The Browns will not have Deshaun Watson when they play the Miami Dolphins. It's a home game for us. Are we just going to chalk it up as a W right now?
If Jacoby Brissett is the starter, I would like to think that we are not losing to Jacoby Brissett. If they bring in Jimmy G, we are not losing to Jimmy G. So unless the Browns are going to bring in a top 15 quarterback, then I cannot see us losing to the Browns. They've still got a good defense. They've still got good players, but we will not lose to the Browns because of the quarterback is going to dice us up. That's just not going to happen. What do you think?
I mean, they got Josh Rosen over there. I'm just saying. I like Josh Rosen, man. Y'all need to get up my dog Josh Rosen, man. He got a bad hand dealt to him. Same way Tua got a bad hand dealt to him. I'm just saying. Nah, man. I thought it was a winnable game with Deshaun Watson. I thought he would be, still getting the rust off when he did come to play us, if he was only suspended for 6 games. And if anyone seen the first Browns game, the man was missing wide open passes, bro. It looked like he hadn't played football for a few years. I'm like, no way, bro. Dude was wide. Dude had Anthony Shorts on a little rollout, and Anthony Shorts was open for 7 yards, like a 7-yard radius around him. There was nobody around him, and he just blew it. Watson blew it. So I thought it was going to take him a little bit to get acclimated again to the cardio and the physicality of the game, as well as the tempo. Like, you could be one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but you can't take 2 seasons off and then just think you're going to put up 30 on the Dolphins defense. I don't like it. So I thought we had a good chance. We just had a easy money episode before. I stayed away from it. I'll tell you that much. When it was time to put money on it, I did stay away from it. But now I'm wishing, like, dang, I think we were +5 at the time. Before the suspension, we were +5. And I wonder what we are now. Let me put it up real quick. Go ahead, Kadeem.
While you pull that up, there is a Dolphins game this weekend. It's a preseason game against the Raiders. It's, we spoke about it a couple of weeks, probably a couple of months ago. I probably should have been at this game. Shout out to Nick Kerr for that. Unfortunately, my situation meant that, I'm not currently in the States at the moment. I'm still at home in the UK. It would have been great to be there, but, it's only right that, we're still going to preview the game, still going to talk about it, but also talk about what's happened in training camp the past few days. It hasn't been joint practices. It's just been the Dolphins, and all of the Tua naysayers, the Tua doubters, the Tua haters have basically waited for a week like this. So Wednesday it must have been. The Miami Dolphins offense threw 6 interceptions. 3 of them were thrown by Tua, and I believe friend of the podcast, Jevon Holland, picked 2 of those off. That performance from Jevon Holland had him wear the orange jersey in Thursday's practice. I believe he's the first Dolphins player to three-peat that orange jersey. Listen, Jevon Holland, he's a dude. And he followed up on Thursday with another interception of Tua. And everyone was like, see, this is what all you Dolphins fans who were hyping him up. This is what you get now. He was never that good. He thrown interceptions. And Mike McDaniel had to kind of come out in the media and kind of say, listen, the Dolphins offense, the past few days has been cooking the defense. And I challenge the defense to step up and match that level. And the defense have done it. And then you had Tua speaking about the leaps and bounds that Jevon Holland has come on from his rookie year into his second year, and how he's enjoying going up against him because making him get better, making the offense get better. You've got Jevon Holland saying that, he loves going to get Tua because, again, he gets better. And yeah, what do you make of training camp so far this week? The whole Tua's not it situation, and just how friend of the podcast, Jevon Holland, it just turned out to be an absolute dude.
Yeah, the trajectory and the projection of Jevon Holland ending up being a top 15, top 10, top 12 safety in the league is not new. So when everyone was saying, oh, the Dolphins need to trade for Jesse Bates, no, I'll pass. We have 2 young studs that we don't have to pay right now. Brandon Jones is actually coming up fairly quickly on us. Next thing you know, he's going to have to get a bag. So I'll pass on trading for Jesse Bates. Bro, Jevon Holland is friend of the podcast, Jevon Holland. Dog is nice. You know what I'm saying? So listen, man, if for some reason you missed the episode that Jevon Holland came on here, chopped it up with us, and hit us with his best London accent, Y'all go check that episode out, please and thank you. But 2 through 3 picks. You know what's good about 2 throwing 3 picks, Kadeem?
I have a few theories, but I'll let you get to yours first.
The good thing about 2 throwing 3 picks is we heard about it. That means he hadn't thrown 3 picks before in practice this year, at least. You feel me? So I'm not tripping. You know what I'm saying? Cool. Iron sharpens iron. The defense got the best of them that day. I'm not worried about that. You know what I'm saying? Now, had it been another 3-peat on the other end, like, oh, 2 threw another 3 picks today. Yeah, now we got something to talk about. But since this is the first practice where we heard Tua throw 3 picks this season, like, nah, man, I'm not tripping. Yeah, it is what it is. So, bro, the line is down, by the way. At the time of recording, the Browns-Dolphins line is down for season-long bets. And I only bring it up because we just had an easy money betting, gambling last episode. So that's down. And also at the time of recording, who's playing in the preseason game? Do you think, Kadeem, that we should play our starters and our studs? Or do you think they should take another game off? Do you think they should play a quarter? Do you think they should play a couple series? Do you think they should not play at all?
I think had this been another week of joint practices, I may have leaned towards them playing one series, because again, you're going up, you're having reps against another team. You can kind of see what your offense, your offensive plan is going to be like against guys who kind of don't really know what's coming, and they're going to try different things and stuff like that. Because it's just been Dolphins against Dolphins, I say that they play. I say the first quarter at a minimum. Now, that had to be caveated by, say you play the Raiders, first series, 10-yard drive, touchdown, as my laptop, my work computer goes off. That's why it got darker. Not bright now. Yeah, say first drive, it's 10 plays, touchdown, great. Second drive, 7 plays, touchdown, great. I said, you know what, guys, you've earned, the rest of the game off, all good. If the offense starts a bit slowly, then they might stay a bit past the first quarter, but I don't think it's at the stage now where they need to play a half, if that makes sense. I think it's very reminiscent. I think it's very dependent on how they play, because I know there's stuff that you probably think, Connor Williams had to play because we've heard more about bad snap issues. You want to see that connection between Tua and Tyreek Hill, Tua and Jalen Waddle. How was Austin Jackson looking in pass pro, all that kind of stuff. But for me, I'd give it a quarter at the absolute minimum. How about you?
It's funny you said a quarter at that absolute minimum, because I give it a quarter at the absolute maximum. So maybe it should just be a quarter. Unless exactly what you said, like, we look good, pull them. We don't, you know what I'm saying? We need quality reps, quality snaps. We need to go up against other guys. We beat up our guys all summer, and it's time to beat up on somebody else. Another thing is, you don't want to go too little, and all of a sudden we're still dusting the rust off in week 1 and 2. So it's a fine line. It's a threshold there. Not too much, not too little. And about what you said, we got to see Connor Williams taking snaps. And I love it when we say stuff like that, especially as fans. Oh, I need to see what he looks like. Hey, we got to see what we got. Bro, the coaches see everything. You know what I'm saying? The coaches know what we have. We want to see it. Yeah, I get it. We do want to see it too. We want to see what we got. We want to know what we look like as fans. But at the same time, I have to trust the coaching staff first until they give me a reason not to trust them. And as Dolphin fans, all of us are jaded. All of us. We're all, man, I don't know. We got to second guess stuff. We can't trust the coaching staff yet. We've been burnt by the coaching staffs. We don't trust the quarterback yet. We haven't had a quarterback since Marino. So yeah, I understand that, but at the same time, it's like being in a relationship. And we do that all the time here on this podcast, liking a relationship with the Dolphins to a relationship with a female. And it's like, listen, you can't go into a new relationship with PTSD of your old relationship, bringing in your insecurities into the new relationship. That's not healthy. So we can't go at Coach McDaniel and his coaching staff like with all our insecurities about, oh, the O-line's trash and this is always going to happen. We're always going to be the Dolphins in this type of like, nah, let's give them a chance. So if they trust it, I trust it until they show me otherwise. So I'm okay with whatever the coaches choose. If I had to give you an answer, because I asked for an answer from you, yeah, I think we see them for a couple series, whether that's a quarter or more or less. I do think we need to see a few series. Not that we need to see them. They need to play a few series. So I mean, and then you wonder since there's only 3 preseason games now, and it's no longer 4 preseason games, you wonder what that's going to mean for the 3rd preseason game. Does that mean they play a half in the 3rd preseason game, or do they play a half in this game and then don't play in the 3rd game? What we don't know, right? And I think with 32 teams previously with 4 weeks, it was kind of a clean sweep across the board. All 32 teams had like a format. Now we don't know. It's almost like if you watch racing or F1 or NASCAR, it's almost like, hey, when do we take a pit stop? You know what I'm saying? When do we want to go get new tires? When do we fuel up? So I think all 32 teams are going to treat the preseason differently. Some teams might not even play their starters on the 3rd preseason game. Some might play it a whole half. Some might play it 1 quarter. And we're about to find out. But I don't need to see too much of what we're looking like. Yeah, I like it. We just got the new car. We just got the Lamborghini receivers with the Aston Martin quarterback. But I don't need to see too much of it. In the preseason, I believe we'll get it right. If we need it, we need it. Keep them out there. If we don't, then we don't.
It's interesting you said at the start when you started talking about how as fans we need to see something, but coaches are completely different. That's why, in the nicest way possible, it wouldn't surprise me if we don't see any starters again, or not any, but because they could be like, you know what, we like where we are. Me personally, it's cool to like where you are when you're up against, your own people and stuff like that. And I think that's why the joint factors are so important, because you're able to set yourself against, another defense and stuff like that. Say the Dolphins, say Mike McDaniel chooses to not play, the same guys who didn't play last week. How would that make you feel? And then also, you haven't mentioned it yet, obviously with, acquaintance of the podcast, I guess, True Williams being out for the season, the Dolphins picked up Mackenzie Alexander, sorry. I take it he's probably going to get a decent share of the snaps, which is, he needs to get up to game speed with the Dolphins. And also, he's playing for a position, and that's kind of like CB3, CB4 and stuff like that. So I guess, how would you feel if the Dolphins once again hold back a lot of starters, and how much do you think we see of our new cornerback?
Our new what?
Cornerback.
Listen, so this is our first episode recording since we signed Mackenzie Alexander. Mackenzie Alexander, he went to Clemson. He was drafted by Minnesota, stayed at Minnesota for a few years, went to Cincinnati, and then went back to Minnesota. Now he's a Miami Dolphin. Mackenzie Alexander is from Immokalee, Florida. Listen, Kadeem, when I seen him in Minnesota earlier on in his career, I was like, oh, dude looked pretty nice. And this is just off of memory. This was not off of who is Mackenzie Alexander. Let me go check him out. As soon as the Dolphins signed Mackenzie Alexander, I was like, I like that. And I'll be real with you, Kadeem. We love Trill Williams. We love Jevon Holland. They're best friends, Trill Williams and Jevon Holland. I'm not going to lie to you. Mackenzie Alexander is an upgrade from Trill Williams. And it's not a $9 million a year upgrade either. It's not a $6 million. How much we paying, dog?
I'm
Do
not
we
sure.
know?
I can double check.
Yeah, I don't know how much we paying him, but it shouldn't be that much. And as soon as they said the name, and I knew that it wasn't a Joe Hayden or a Xavier Rhodes, and when they said, matter of fact, Xavier Rhodes and Mackenzie Alexander played on the same team. So when they said Mackenzie Alexander, I'm like, oh, I really like that because he's actually I don't want to say he's leagues better than Trill Williams or miles better than Trill Williams, but he's nicer than Trill Williams. So I'm very comfortable with the signing. I would like to see what he has. How has he been keeping up with his body, and has he been training, all that stuff? But yeah, man, I like the signing, and it's crazy because we hadn't talked about it yet. What you thought?
Yeah, he I can't see how much he's going to be earning this year. Yeah, in terms of deal not being disclosed at this time. Yeah, it's the interesting thing about the Dolphins bringing in a cornerback, because I believe there was discussion about Joe Hayden, but with someone like Joe Hayden, he probably wants any corner coming into the Dolphins, to replace Trill Williams. You've got this really interesting dynamic where you're not going to come in as a starter because they've got Xavier Howard and Byron Jones. Nick Needham is also there. So you're replacing someone who, at the time of his injury, was probably CB4 or CB5.
Mm-hmm.
So you're trying to find someone to obviously improve on that, because you don't want to bring in someone worse than Trill Williams, especially when Trill Williams having a really good camp. And, we believe had made his way into the conversation of CB4, potentially even CB3. So it's, can you find a good NFL backup, basically? That's what we're trying to find this stage, a good NFL backup. And I think Alexander is on the cusp of, low level starter / good backup, if that makes sense. Would I be comfortable with Alexander for every single game on the outside? Not really. Would I be comfortable with him for, the start of the season if Byron Jones isn't quite healthy? Yeah, basically, if he has to start week 1, can he lock down Devontae Parker? Yes. So I'm good. Put it that way. It genuinely isn't Noah's fault where he was drafted. But I think Noah, the way teams have targeted Noah and the way Noah has made, not the best wide receivers look, I reckon he'll make Devontae Parker look like prime, DeAndre Hopkins. And that's not what we want. So, yeah, if we need Alexander for 1 game, maybe 2, 3, probably pushing it. I think by the 3rd or 4th game, he'd probably be exposed a bit. But when you got friend of the podcast, Jevon Holland, on your team as well, he probably help out quite a bit as well. So, yeah, you didn't ask my question though about how would you feel if we didn't play any starters?
Oh, my bad, bro. My bad,
Good,
my
man.
bad, my
Good.
bad. How would I feel if we didn't play any starters? I don't know. It would lead me to believe that what Coach McDaniel said was, he was comfortable. He knows what he has in Tua. He knows what he has in Bridgewater, 2 gloves. So if he's comfortable, I'm comfortable. However, I would imagine it's still getting acclimated to game speed. Tua just threw 3 picks in practice. I'd rather him throw picks in preseason if he's going to throw them. So let's get the game speed. Let's see. And the coaches are privy to the Bucks practice. You know what I'm saying? They Dolphins practice with the Bucks, and from what we understand, we torched the Bucks secondary in practice anyway. So that probably led to coach saying we don't need to see Tua in preseason, because I just seen what he did to the Bucks in practice all week. So cool. But still, that means we still have one more preseason game. And I gotta imagine, if you're not gonna play the starters in this preseason game either, they have to probably play next preseason to get acclimated to game speed, get the cardio right, get the kinks out. So I'm okay if they don't play. I imagine they do play though.
Yeah, I think you mentioned, I don't want to mention Watson's name on here, but you mentioned Watson looked bad in camp from what we had seen, and again, it's very like the bad stuff is going to get treated much easier because it's bad. You saw Watson throw interception, miss guys wide open in camp. It was important for him to play, but also because he hadn't played in ages. The Dolphins as a team haven't played a game since the start of January. So I think given that it's the home game, you're going to want to put Tua and some of the guys out there, guys. Basically get the crowd hyped. Skylar Thompson, see at home. I don't think we see Teddy Bridgewater again because I think again it's one of those things where Teddy Bridgewater, what you're going to get from Teddy Bridgewater. Maybe not in this system, but Teddy Bridgewater has enough game film, given he's how long he's been in the NFL for. Whereas again, Skylar Thompson, you kind of need to see what you have in him, and it's one of those things where, like you said, we as a league, as the Dolphins, have lost one preseason game, so you really are trying to find, from your bubble guys, how good are you? Because in the joint practices, they're not getting much game time against the Bucks and stuff like that. So you need to see whether they can contribute to the team, whether it's like actually we're gonna have to cut you, but we're gonna keep an eye out on you just in case someone gets injured and stuff like that. So I don't think we see Teddy Bridgewater again. I think if we see Teddy Bridgewater, it's going to be for a series, but I reckon it'll be the Skylar Thompson show again, and kind of go from there.
I don't know, man. Hey, I heard the defense looking legit though in practice. Like I heard, was it Travis Wingfield said he tweeted, defense looks really fun. Defense looks really good. It's going to be real fun watching them this season.
Yeah, I think you saw from the way the Dolphins, made a conscious effort to bring back basically everyone from last year. They wanted to keep this unit together.
Josh Boyer, you on the clock?
100%. And it's one of those things where we spoke about Tua's interceptions and stuff like that. If Tua's going to throw 3 picks in 2 days to friend of the podcast, Jevon Holland, that's cool because Holland is an absolute stud. They'd be concerned if he's throwing picks to no names. Then you're like, come on, no. But the way Holland is balling, the way the defense is balling, and again, it's that really weird dynamic where, I think Coach McDaniel spoke about it as well. You want the offense to do well, you want the defense to do well. So something has to give. If we as Dolphins fans or NFL fans in general, but if your quarterback is throwing picks in training, it's my day, the offense is bad, or the defense is doing really, really good. Because the same way, if Tua had thrown 10 touchdowns in 2 sessions, then while you'll be hyped about the offense, you'll be like, well, hold on, is the defense going to show up? So yeah, let's be positive that the defense is showing up, that Jevon Holland's showing up, because it could be a lot worse. So yeah, man, it's fun.
Can you imagine if the Blue Ranger sparred against the Green Ranger all the time and beat them down every single time, bro? Like when the Blue Ranger really goes to war, he gonna be like, man, I gotta look out for Tommy because I be beating him down and sparring, so he probably ain't nice. So yeah, you want to see some spars go back and forth. Like, what you confused about?
If anyone's sparring in the Power Ranger dojo, yeah. Yeah, if anyone's farming in the Power Ranger dojo, it's Jason against Tommy. The Blue Ranger is just not about that life. As a fellow nerd myself, while Tommy and Jason were honing their skills, iron sharpens iron. The Blue Rangers was coming up with cool gadgets. Hey guys, I'm going to do this little fix to our Zords, and we're going to be good. Listen, there is no doubt in my mind if Billy fought Tommy, there's only one winner. and it's Tommy over and over and over again.
Back to football, man. Listen, I didn't appreciate what you said about Mackenzie Alexander, because Mackenzie Alexander is actually, I think he could hold his own. Like you said, oh, he might look good for a couple games. I think he, bro. Here's the thing, Mackenzie Alexander. I don't know, and I probably should have did my homework on this, but Eli Apple had meaningful reps for Cincinnati. Eli Apple is trash, bro. Super trash. He's always been trash since he's come into the league. Like I'm not a fan of Eli Apple. So I'm not sure if Mackenzie Alexander was on that team, but if he was behind Eli Apple, I think that's on the coaches, because I seen Mackenzie Alexander play. And honestly, again, I should have did my homework. So I'm gonna look into Mackenzie Alexander. Maybe he had an injury sometime in the past 3 years that I didn't catch.
It's quite interesting what happened to Alexander when he got to Cincinnati. So signed a free agency 2020 March. So the COVID year, 4-year deal. He's arrested in August while trying to find his missing dad. Charged with battery.
For what?
Trying to find his missing dad.
Okay.
So he's trying to find his missing dad. He's arrested. Charged with battery against the last person to see his dad, who was later found unharmed. Charges were dropped in January. But that's kind of like, so he's arrested in August, catches COVID in November. And then, it's a very up and down season for stuff which seems like it's out of his control, which is basically why his stint in Cincinnati kind of went under the radar. So, yeah, leave Cincy and then go back to the Vikings.
The Mackenzie Alexander I know is way better than the Eli Apple that I know. So the fact that Eli Apple was getting real snaps, I don't know if it was because of, oh, Mackenzie, you haven't earned yourself a spot on the team, or, hey, we just think Eli Apple's better than you. But the Mackenzie Alexander I know is a football player, and he looks legit. He was legit, and I can't wait to actually see what we have with him. But like I said, he was better than Trill. But listen, man, you want to plug the giveaways?
Yeah, definitely. So shout out to everyone who has responded so far. We have a fit to size friend of the podcast, Jevon Holland jersey to give away. To enter that, all you have to do is email us at gotimedolphins@gmail.com. Email us your jersey size, and that is it. That is how you enter it with a chance to win a fit to size Jevon Holland jersey. We had a Madden 23 giveaway that has closed, because to enter that competition, all you had to do was email that same email address, gotimedolphins@gmail.com, and let us know how you think the Dolphins are going to do in preseason. Now, obviously, with one game played, it's unfair for people to then say, oh, the Dolphins are going to go 3-0, 2-1, because, you already know the Dolphins have one win.
Can't come tardy to the party.
Exactly. So we thought we'd do another giveaway, and try and get more people involved and stuff like that. So another Madden 23 giveaway, and this one, and excuse me if I say it, because I do that quite a lot. With this one, it is email your answer to gotimedolphins@gmail.com. Week 1 of the NFL season, how many wide receivers will the Dolphins carry on the active roster?
I like it.
So I'll say it again. Email your answer and to the question, week 1 of the NFL season, how many wide receivers will the Dolphins carry on their active 53-man roster? No, 53. However, 53, 55 on roster. On the active week 1 roster.
Listen, so even if you won the first Madden giveaway, you can still enter the second one too. So the first one is closed because it's implicated by the preseason wins, but the second one is still open to everybody. It will be open to everyone all the way up to week 1. So Y'all know what time it is, man. Stay positive. Test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
And it's showtime. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's showtime. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's showtime. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time.
It's hot, man.
It really is. Like so in the comments, let us know what you would call what myself and Charlie are wearing. I call this a hoodie because it's got a hood.
You don't call it no hoodie, bruh.
I'm sorry. Are you telling me what I call what I'm wearing right now?
Go ahead, Kadeem.
I would call this a hoodie because it's got a hood. Charlie, to me, is wearing a hoodie because it's got a hood. But I know we have discussed this. You call it something different. So what do you call it?
We also call it a hoodie, but it's also considered a sweater.
Okay. We in the UK, and I've got to say we in the UK because I'm clearly in my sheltered hostage situation life right now. Okay. I don't call anything a sweater. We have jumpers and we have hoodies.
So you don't call that a jumper that you got on right now?
It would be classified as a jumper as well, but it would fall under the hoodie section because it's got a hood.
That's like the first time you ever called that a hoodie. You always call those jumpers. I'm in my Dolphins jumper, mate.
I know for a fact I never called it a sweatshirt. And that's what I'm saying, like,
I said sweater. I said sweater.
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 Yeah. You know, it's if I were to search for my Dolphins jumper / hoodies, they would fall under the hoodie section. Or like, you know, jumper / hoodies. Maybe just out of, I guess, comfort, I call them all jumpers. But yeah, you know, going out, chucking a hoodie, chucking a jumper. But yeah, it's you looking forward to this second game, and what are you hoping to see from, I guess, the Dolphins in general, and anything in particular you really want to see, not need to, but want to see?
One more time.
What are you
what
hoping
I need to see? Sunday, Saturday?
Well, I was going to say need, but like we can discuss, like us needing to see things are completely different. So I say one, but you know,
yeah,
you can say need if you want.
I don't need to see. I honestly don't need to see anything. I believe in Tua. I believe we're going to extend him. I think he's going to go into his 5th year. We're going to exercise his 5th year of his contract. And that's the only thing that the Dolphins actually managed to, only good thing to come out of the situation of the bad Tua situation. And when I say bad Tua situations, how they handled Tua. Because if he would have balled out this whole time, he wouldn't be going into his 5th year. He won't go into a 5th year extension. He would probably be asking for an actual contract, and that would hamstring the team. So because they haven't stood by him and they didn't have an offense, they didn't have an offensive line, they didn't have an offensive coordinator, they didn't have any offensive help until Jalen Waddle came along. Yes, Mike Gesicki is my dog. He was there. He's a real thing. But even if you look at Zach Wilson's situation, Zach Wilson has all kind of weapons right now, and this is only his 2nd season. You know what I'm saying? And they gave him weapons in his 1st season because that's what you do to your star quarterback, right? So anyway, I don't need to see anything. However, if the stars did play and the starters do play, I want to see consistency. I don't want to see no bombs and over the top plays and a blowout and oh my goodness. Tyreek Hill is unguardable. Like we still keep hearing to this day. To this day, we still keep hearing it. So I don't need to see that because I already knew that. I already believe it, and I don't want you guys messing up my week 1 line when I smack it. You know what I'm saying? I need my week 1 line to remain the same. So I don't want any tips. I want everyone to keep doubting us. I want everyone to keep not believing in Tua until the regular season starts, so I can benefit from it on my bets. What you need to see?
The same thing I wanted to see against the Bucs. How is this offensive line looking against, other NFL defenses? I want and need to see. I'm going to go with one. I want to see Austin Jackson, defender podcast Austin Jackson, continue to make forward steps. I want to once again see Austin Jackson, Solomon Kinley, Robert Hunt. I don't think we see to one Armstead, but cool if we did. But I want to see the offensive line continue to improve. If they have another game like last week where we don't talk about how bad they were, to me that's a win. Because too often last season we were saying, "Oh my days, the offensive line looks horrid." So if the offensive line has another quiet afternoon or quiet evening, great. Let's continue to see Jason Sanders make his kicks. And I guess I'll probably end on 2 things. Come on, Noah, man. I'm rooting for you. What everyone else is like, dude, it's time. I'm still there going, no, we can get something out of this guy. So hopefully we get something out of Noah. And then the run game. Can we see a run game start to develop? But yeah, I think that's it for me. It's a few things, and just get another dub. Although dubs aren't important, it'll be good to come in here, when we record next and speak about another Dolphins victory.
Oopsie.